Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today, we're taking a look at something a little bit different. From Takara, this is their Star Wars Transformers line, Darth Vader TIE Advanced Fighter. Now, this is not a reissue or a remold or retool of the old Hasbro Star Wars Transformer. This is an entirely new mold. And this is the vehicle mode. And let's just get this out of the way real quick. This is the figure. This is the box it comes in. Yeah, this is basically, I'll tell you right now, a deluxe-sized figure. Maybe a little bit wider because of the wings. But you'll see in robot mode. And it's packaged in a Voyager box. Now, Amazon Japan, where I got this figure from, is charging around $45 for it. Most other local importers are doing between a little closer to 50 or a little over 50. That's a bit much for a figure of this size. And I think what happened is, as you can see right there on the box, the Disney logo. Licensing for Star Wars is a lot of money, and they had to pay a lot. So instead of putting this in like a blister card or something more suitable for a deluxe size figure, they figured go a little fancy with the packaging, get it out there, and maybe sort of that's some way to justify the cost. I don't believe that, but unfortunately it's the way it is, and that's the end of that. But now, one thing you're going to notice right away, in the history of Star Wars toys, when it comes to Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, I've always seen it presented as a little bit of a bluish gray, bluish green color. This is very much a very light gray, with obvious black highlights. Now, I have not seen any explanation for the change in the color. What I can maybe hypothesize is one of two things. Number one, this is the actual color of the TIE Fighter, and that blue-green, blue-gray color is what it looks like flying in space with the light of the stars reflecting off of it. Or Disney, and underneath them LucasArts, dictated to Takara that this was the color scheme they had to use. Maybe this is showing up in the upcoming Solo film, so there's a little bit of a tie-in. There's really no mention of that on the box. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Unfortunately, it's one of those questions we will never get answers to because, or maybe we will, after I record this, because, toy companies are more secretive than the CIA. Detail-wise, it is very nice. Now, I'm not going to sit here and claim to be the biggest Star Wars fan, but I do see a lot of the molded detail here along this back section, the fuselage of the ship, I guess that's the right term, that fit in and seem to match up properly. You have the cockpit right here up front. The wings seem to be angled properly. And you have the stuff that... And really, one thing I want to point out is you don't see a lot of what could be robot kibble, at least from this side. You turn it over, and it's like, yeah, you see something that could be hips, and obviously that's Vader's head. But from this angle, it does look really cool. Now, this did not come by itself. A few things that were included, and I want to mention that it might be a first edition exclusive, were some minifigures. First, we'll go ahead and open the cockpit, and out will fall Lord Vader himself. Very small. Hard to really get the details there, but arms can move, and it can bend at the hips, and you just slide it. I mean, he really doesn't peg in or anything. You just sit him there, and he'll jiggle around, but he can stand there for transformation. And then the next step was these. We got a set of stormtroopers, the same articulation. They came in this little baggie. Now, just to let you know, if you get this figure, there is a little blue piece of like a cardboard sleeve box type of deal underneath the plastic insert. These are in there. You have to open them up. So don't, if you throw out packaging, don't throw that out until you take these out. The details is quite nice. They do have their little blasters. I think they're all the same. If they look different, it's, you know, because of the molding of this size, and it's the same articulation. I mean, I'm not really going to open these up just because it'll be a pain to get them back in here or to find some storage for them. But I do like they're included, and if I was someone to do more of a display, I would definitely use these. And I can see these being used by Star Wars collectors to do like scale dioramas, like with a Death Star or something. So yeah. So that's about it for the vehicle mode and what we get here in the box. We'll pause and we'll get into the transformation. Okay, transformation is actually fairly simple for this figure. I've done it quite a few times and I enjoy it. First step you want to do is come into the inside of the wing and remove the lightsaber. There are tabs here on either side that the lightsaber can peg into. I found this to be a little bit on the small side, but it does scale well with the figure. But I would have liked it if the blade was a little bit longer, but it's a nice simplified rendition of Vader's lightsaber. So we'll just put that off to the side for now. You want to come around to the back here and get your finger in there and pop up this back panel. This whole back section will just come up and around just like that. There are some tabs here and here that will peg into the top of the cockpit area. Then what you want to do is you're going to fold back the next section. There's some tabs there that will go into slots here right at the top. They don't snap as nicely into place as that first section. And then what you can do is go ahead and fold this chest panel down, and there you have Vader's torso. Next, what you want to do, and this is where things start getting a little tricky, you got to unpeg the wings and basically just angle them out forward. The wings will get in the way, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So just go ahead and do that. Then come back around here to the back, and there are some tabs here that will go into slots there, but they don't really hold it in place. Just give it a resting point. But bring these down. These will be the legs. And then what you want to do is go ahead and bring out the feet, just like so. And then come underneath the vehicle, grab it by the hips. You'll unpeg the hip section from this back panel, and go ahead and it'll soft friction into place. Now, the instructions say do this at the end, but you can do this now because you're going to end up doing it anyway as you fiddle with the arms. Fold that down. Go ahead, rotate the knees forward, just like so, and there you have a standing Vader with giant shield arms. Now let's see how I want to do the arms. Let's turn the figure around. I think it'll be easier to see from this side. Angle the sides of the TIE Fighter as you need to grab this. You're going to grab this section. It pegs in down here. It's on a double hinge, and then we'll peg upward. These will be the arms, so you just do it like that. Repeat on the same side here. And I just loosened up the hip section there. So now rotate this whole section down so that the shields are facing forward. Let's see what's easier to do, because we can go from the front now. Fold what will be the forearms out. You're going to bring that down. It's on a double hinge. Make sure, I should mention one of my arms here has a tendency to pop out, but bring that down just like so. Oh, and I also had unfortunately opened up the torso there, but there you go. Everything like that. Go ahead, fold the fist out, close up this panel. It will peg into place right there, and then rotate it forward. And then bring this down. We're not exactly done with the arms yet, the shield, but do the same thing on this side. Bring it out, down. Did I try not to loosen everything up. Fold out the fist, close that panel, rotate it forward, and then now the next step is these wings are on little ratchet joints. Now there's two little panels here that can fold in. Let's see how I can show you this. Okay, so right here you can see there's some teeth and slots, tabs and slots, alternating directions. The instructions aren't really clear about this, but they do peg together. They don't really hold well, but they are meant to peg together. And then you can angle this back and down like so. Do it again on this side. And why does this keep popping up? Same thing here. Just go ahead and oop. As you can see, the wings do make for a little bit of an issue with Vader. And you can bring this down. You can angle it back. But there you have Darth Vader in its robot mode. We come in. The saber can peg into either hand. And there you go. And it's a nice robot mode, but I'll be honest, it really doesn't scream Darth Vader to me. The colors seem to be a little off. And where's this cape? Now, I think these wings are supposed to be like thrusters for when it's in space. I don't know. But for articulation, there is a ball joint here at the head. You do get a nice little bit of waggle up and down, what have you. The arms, basically the rotation here is here at the shoulder, but you do have double jointed elbows, so you can get a decent enough bend. And you do have some outward movement, but that's very limited by the shields there, and you'll end up really working over the shoulder joint there. There is a bicep swivel, if I can turn it, but it is very tight. There is no wrist swivel, unfortunately. No articulation in the hands, no articulation at the waist. Universal joint at the hips, and fairly deep knee bend. Ankles you can adjust, but they are molded into place to do the A stance type of deal. Now on mine, as you can probably see, the head is a little loose, likes to maneuver around a little. So your mileage may vary. Also, the shoulders do have a tendency to pop out, and as I was transforming the figure, this top piece did pop up a couple times, but that's the first time that happened. And the feet are molded so you can get that wide angle stance. So yeah, it is an interesting figure. I kind of like it. How it compares to the original Hasbro version, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Hasbro version goes for a lot of money now. So in terms of worth to you, what would be better to get? That's really up to you and to make your own decisions on that. I'm happy I got this, but I'm not really sure if I'll be going forward with this line. Okay, figuring this is a Star Wars figure, and I might have a few people watching who are not regular Transformer collectors, for their benefit, I will do a transformation now back into vehicle mode. Start things off, bring these shield parts back around, unpeg them. They will sort of friction into place. They do have a habit of sometimes you can over pop them, but just be careful and pay attention and you should be all right. Return the arms to a neutral position, meaning straight down. Go ahead, rotate them inward, and then this forearm panel is actually quite tight. That's actually really nice, as most of the panels here are tight. Go ahead, fold the fist up, and then you want to, I use my thumb here to get in there, push that joint back up into place so it will fold into the shoulder, and then I can just collapse the arm up. And in doing so, you do start popping things. But we're transforming it back, so I guess that's kind of okay. Same thing on this side. Fold that fist up. Get that inside joint going. There you go. Again, we'll go from the back here. Rotate what were the shoulders forward. Bring those shields up to give you some space to move. And now we're going from having the shoulders, arm section up here. We're going to bring them back down into position for vehicle mode. And it should snap into place. Down here, although that one is a little stiff. That's very odd, but well, this one too. Oh, there we go. All right, just had to. What I'm doing here is gotta wiggle it in a little. There we go. Okay, make sure that's all squared up and tight. Have it all nice like that. Come around to the front here. Rotate the legs so the knees are facing inward towards each other, and that the points are up towards the crotch area. Go ahead, fold the feet up just like so. I really do actually like the feet a lot. That is rather nice. Now what you want to do is come underneath. See how I'm using my 3 fingers? 2 here on the torso, 1 right underneath, right where those front guns are. Just go ahead, bring that back. Make sure you flip up that gray section. There's a peg right there that will peg into a section in the waist that holds it very nicely. Go ahead, bend the knees inward. There are small tabs there that will fit into slots on the inside of the arm. As I mentioned before, these aren't going to be like this one came off. Okay, they're not going to hold. Really, what locks this into place is the chest section and the wings. Speaking of which, bring the wings back. There's a nice big tab here that will fit into the slot on the wings. Don't be shy. Use a little force. Get them in there. Same thing on this side as well. Oop. Try not to loosen everything up. There we go. Okay, and we have all that. So we'll come back around to the front here. Flip up the chest plate. Bring Vader's head forward just like that. You're unpegging it from that section. Go ahead, fold this whole section back. There are some tabs on the bottom side that will peg into the legs. That will bring everything together nice and tight. Finally, tab right there. Not really sure you can see it. There's a little notch right here on the hilt. Just slide it in. And there you have the Darth Vader back into its TIE Advance mode. Like I said, the transformation's really easy. Yet there's a nice little... I'll worry about that in a second. But there's nice little bits to it. And overall, this is a fun figure. In the beginning of the review, I had talked about the price of the figure and what it's going for at different retailers, and how that would be an issue for me in terms of recommending this figure. And honestly, it still is. While this is a fun figure to have and to transform, I've done it a couple times. I've, fooled around with it. I mean, the plastic feels solid. It's high quality. I know a lot of those Hasbro Star Wars Transformers, the plastic felt very cheap. This does not. I can't overlook the various issues well, not issues, but I just can't overlook that this is going for about $45 to $50, if not more, and it's the deluxe-sized figure. I am actually kind of concerned now that I don't think the Millennium Falcon will be as big and epic as it should be. If you are a Star Wars fan, as well as a Transformers fan, and you are willing to pay extra for the licensing, get this figure. If you are just a Star Wars fan looking for a Darth Vader figurine or a TIE fighter replica, you have countless options that are much better than this and much more affordable, or that the price, the quality of the figure justifies the price. Go that route. If you're a straight Transformers fan that's never heard of Star Wars, first of all, I really like to meet you, because I don't know how you pull that off, but definitely you might want to pass on this. This is really for a niche market, and it's if you fit into that, this might be something. I mean, if you're a casual just looking to try something new, the price is a little prohibitive. As I mentioned in the beginning, I got this figure from Amazon Japan. Local US-based importers should be getting this figure in soon. If not already, by the time of this, you are watching this video. So, this is your old pal Chuck for Darth Vader. May the Schwartz be with you.